set, but Alberta ain't ready to kneel just yet. They chose their king, their power was met, but we don't answer to Ottawa yet. No crown gave us what we've earned, just dirt and fire and lessons learned. Now the ground it shakes, the steel it groans, and Alberta walks alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. From the rigs to the rails, the crops to the code, we lit their streets, we bore their load. They laughed at pride, they mocked the West, but freedom don't die, it just waits for the test. The cowboys ride, the farmers rise, 5 million strong under open skies. No lead.
Welcome. It's 7-Eleven Daily Summary with Bruce Scholl. Thank you for joining me. I want to pray just a short prayer. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. And I'm really grateful to be here and to have this opportunity to get this message out, to document these stories. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm having trouble with my headphones, I think. Anyway, what an amazing time. What an extraordinary life we are living and experiencing. Just, yeah, I truly thought that this was going to be a battle that I wasn't going to be a part of, that my children were going to have to endure this. And I guess I'm grateful that it's me that will hopefully be bearing the brunt of this challenge or the challenges that we're facing. So I'm grateful that you're here. Make sure to share this message out. Make sure to get more eyeballs on this information. We have some interesting things happening. Maybe this has already happened. I just, heard this information on my way home tonight, and I knew I had to express and share it and then talk about it a bit. So bear with me if you've already heard this information, but it looks like they have revealed, or someone has revealed, the January 6th bomber that planted the bombs near the RNC and the DNC offices in Washington, D.C. So we'll get to that here in a second. But first and foremost, again, I'm very honored to be able to be here with you, to be able to share this information, and to hopefully be able to, impart some insight, as well as, like I said before, document these stories so that we have a history of what we are going through. All right, I want to start off, as usual, saying thank you to the people around me, my friends, my family, and the Lord. I am so grateful. Also, Nugget Stacker, I am not your investment advisor, but I do suggest having gold and silver. We are going to be going through rough times. If you want to believe the East and their elbows up psychosis, go right ahead, but I don't think it's the best for your family. I think it's best to try to protect some of your wealth by holding gold and silver, and not the EFTs. I'm talking about holding the real metal. You can get gold and silver subscription. Great way to get started. Start off at $50 a month if that's all you can afford. Just call Nugget Snacker 1-866-644-2121 and give them a call. Ask any questions. There is no question that's not allowed in regard to gold and silver. All right, I am coming to you from the heart of the battle-ready nation of Alberta. We bring you truth and optimism. Our goal is to break free from the media and the globalist mind control. It is November 8th, 2025. This is episode number 216. I called this January 6th Bomber Revealed. So I think we're going to have just a bit more of a heart-to-heart here, as well as I'm going to show you some videos of some information that I came across, like I said, from InfoWars on my way home. I was listening to the transmission, and I'm going to bring that up here shortly. But really an extraordinary time. I'm going to bring this up here briefly. I want to show you this. Let me see here. Something that I saw was posted today, and you have to think that this is just, again, an extraordinary time when you see this information here, like this, from Donald Trump. It says, this is a post from him on Truth Social. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria, and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. What world are we living in that this is the way a president speaks or communicates? This is just uncharted territory, don't you think? I mean, it's crazy town, and I like the guy, and I think that he is doing, I think, amazing things for the world, for Western society. Not always on the mark, not always perfect, but man, we are living in some crazy times. Never mind, the insanity of the progressives, and I'm using air quotes around that, liberals, retards that want to stop a government agency from getting rid of criminals, murderers, rapists. And so they would rather have these criminal, murderers, rapists, illegal people in their community, around their children, around their wives, instead of getting rid of them. So they're attacking the federal agents that are removing these people that came into the country illegally. Make it make sense. It's absurd. All right, I may not have this queued up because, like I said, I just heard this information. I had to sort of scramble to pull this up. So we're going to listen to what I've got here and see if it makes some sense. Again, this is from InfoWars, so stand by.
Internet is on fire with verified posts claiming Capitol Police officer Shawnee Kirkhoff as the potential bomber caught on the FBI's own surveillance footage. She walked away from the Capitol Police just 6 months after J6, then slipped quietly into a 3-letter intelligence agency. And right as that name began exploding across X, Blaze Media's Steve Baker, who was about to drop his long-awaited report, announced he was hitting pause after, quote, counsel from trusted parties and within and outside the government. And get this, at 9 a.m., November 6, hours before Steve Baker hit pause on his bombshell report, Nancy Pelosi suddenly announced she wouldn't seek re-election. Looks like she knew what was coming and jumped out ahead of the blast. Former Green Beret and intelligence insider Ivan Raiklin says none of this is a coincidence. He says two obscure laws, 2 USC 1967 and 1979, handed Pelosi's Capitol Police Board total control over the scene, the evidence, and the investigation itself. He's here tonight with maps, the statutes, and the receipts that could blow this case wide open. Ivan Ranklin, welcome back to the Next News Network. The first big question: why was Steve Baker's Blaze Media Report suddenly paused? We've got it on screen right here. This was 23 hours ago that he posted that after abundance of caution, after an abundance of counsel from trusted parties within and outside government, we've hit pause on this revelation, which is now blowing up all over X. Why was it suddenly paused? What do you think was happening behind the scenes when he said he was asked to give the government more time to review the evidence?
I mean, I can only speculate based on reading the.
Yeah, he's speculating. Ship the next clip.
My take would be is that most people are not as.
Think about this, the January 6th pipe bomber case. Kash Patel could have put this all into Biden's lap. They could have pinned it all on Biden. Biden was the legendary cover-up, Chris Wray, taking them all down. Everybody that was hunting down Trump, everybody that was going after Trump, they all would have went down in the J6 case. But Kash and Bongino fucking covered it up. That's insane. This is going to be such a big fucking scandal. I don't even know how to understate it. It says U.S. Pardon Attorney and Director of the DOJ Weaponization Working Group Administration has determined the identity of the January 6th pipe bomber. Sharuni Kirkhoff is a former DC Capitol police officer and current intelligence operative. J6 was an FBI CIA-led coup. Okay, it gets better. Okay, so this is the news here on X. It says unverified social media claims name ex-Capitol police officer as January 6th pipe bomber suspect. Social media posts have identified the former U.S. Capitol Police officer Sharuni Kirkhoff as the unidentified person who placed the pipe bomb near the Democrats 18 hours ago. Okay, so think about that, right? Steve Baker, a man who's, and obviously, they're unverified, right? So everything in this video is just allegedly, this is just my opinion. But think about what this means, okay? Kash Patel has been in power for what? Like 11 months, 10 months, 8 months? And he hasn't figured this out. But wasn't it last week that we started to see these videos surface? So this was new. The FBI in 2021 says new released video of a person placed a pipe bomb in Washington, D.C. And then they went in 2022. You can help us to identify the person who placed the pipe bomb near the office, blah, blah, blah. They knew all along. It was one of their own. And they were sitting on the intel. They were sitting on the phone number. Remember they tell us the phone call was corrupted and they lost the data. They never lost the data. It was all a lie. They knew who it was all the time. It was one of their own. So if it was one of their own, why the hell is she still in power? Why the hell didn't Kash Patel take her out? Why the hell didn't Kash Patel arrest her ass? Why didn't Bongino arrest her ass? So you mean to tell me that you're going to wait till Steve Baker uses gate analysis and figures this all out on his own without any subpoena power, without any... The mental gymnastics that are going to come out of Benny Johnson and the White House to cover this up and try to make Kash Patel look like the hero are going to be epic. This is a bigger scandal than Watergate, right? Can we call this Patelgate? Can we just nickname it after Kash and get his ass the hell out of the FBI for once?
All right, let's stop there. Look, I've had Ryan Matt on exposing human trafficking, liked him, good guy. But I've seen some stuff he does where he jumps the gun.
All right, so there you have it. That is pretty damning so far. Well, let me see. Did they have something else on this? I'm just going to skip ahead a bit because I thought I heard. Oh, yeah, right there. He goes on about Ryan Matta a lot in here and how he's attacking Benny Johnson. So we don't really care about that, obviously.
Or that's a diversion. No. The story is that we knew this. It came out years ago. Now it's confirmed. What do we do about that? And Thomas Massey, super respected, saying he's seen the information. It's a CIA staged January 6th. That's the story. Not that Benny Johnson is behind the curve. Do you see, Ryan, how that's a distraction? See? So, moving on from that, we can't get mad at reporters that are starstruck. We have to stay on target, the globalists. So, you have Thomas Massey right here saying, oh my God, it's the CIA. Yeah, after she Capitol polices it and does it reportedly, she becomes CIA. She was already CIA, obviously. We said that 4 years ago. We knew who it was then. We couldn't bring it out yet. And so this is huge. And we need to talk about that. The story. I mean, look at this person. This video featuring her was uploaded on YouTube in November 2014 when she was playing soccer for Temple. Obviously autistic, in my opinion. Another Marinus Vanderloob, who did the firebombing of the Reichstag in February 27th, 1933, to bring Hitler to power. It's a Marinus Vanderloob. But the bomb was planted right where Kamala Harris was, obviously, to make her a victim, but it didn't happen. Why did that happen? And then we've got all the photos right here. So this is the story. Not, oh, we can't wait for the White House to cover it up. I can assure you, Trump doesn't know about this. So why are we worried about that? Yeah, Kash Patel's known this. Let's focus on him. And I guess that's your point, that they've known this. I've known this for years. And now it's out. I mean, look at this kook ball. So let's just go back to the post we just showed on X. Go back to the last one. Thomas Massey. When will the FBI, CIA, Capitol Police address the scandal? Today would be good. So the good news is the blaze broke this Thursday. We already knew it. They were willing to do it. Now, we're going to wait till next week. They ain't getting out of this. And there's much worse stuff about to come out. So my point is, instead of doing victory laps about who could have done a better job, just cover the issues.
All right, we're covering the issues. So, very interesting, very, very interesting. I'm going to obviously keep a close eye on what is coming out, and I will be sharing it with you, and we'll be talking about it. I have reached out to my new friend, Thomas Special, to see if he had any insight or any thoughts on this and any of the events around that. And maybe we'll get into that. But I want to remind you that we've got our own things here in our backyard that we need to be paying attention to. A number of them that I still have, working on stories is the asbestos in our water pipes. So we'll have to bring that to our council. We have fluoride that was just added on June 30th in 2025. And hopefully, since we have a new council, we might be able to change that. I also posted something today I thought, might get some traction. Tell me what you think about it. I'm just going to pull it up here. Let me see if I can find, let's see. Hang on. Let's just talk about this one here briefly. Okay, I'm going to bring this up here. All right, now, what do you think about this? We have this new council. We got rid of our Marxist mayor. I think since we never got a chance to vote on Fort Calgary, changing the name, changing all of that Marxist bullshit, and as well as spending another $6 million on changing Calgary be part of the energy to Calgary Blue Sky City. Who the hell wanted that garbage? And we spent $6 million of your hard-earned money on that. I say we petition our council, our new council, to change back to this glorious sign right here. Welcome, bienvenue to Calgary, be part of the energy. We can also drop the bienvenue because we are not French. What do you think? Anyway, I always want to hear your comments. If you want to share it with me right here on X or Rumble or YouTube. Now that I'm on YouTube, you can contact me there, as well as you can send me an email at unscrewthenews at proton.me. That's my email address. Also, I'm going to remind you, since I'm just talking about it, my website is unscrewthenews.com. You can go there, click on the link for Nugget Stacker, and get a bit of a discount on your gold and silver. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Since we have this new council, we should be really focusing on some of the things that we can fix. One of them being the blanket rezoning. So hopefully we can turn that around ASAP. And they're talking about the budget. Let's burn that budget and make sure that we are doing our best to keep our people, our seniors, and people that are struggling today at keeping them in their house instead of taxing them out of their houses. Let's turn that around. Let's turn affordability that way so people aren't forced to be on the streets in the middle of winter here in Calgary, which is not reasonable. Also, we've got the I talked to the I talked to Daryl Comic yesterday, who's running for president of the UCP board, and we've got the AGM coming up on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of November, as well as the Cowtown Showdown. Let me see if I can bring that up here. Oh, yeah, I have it. I still have it here. So the Cowtown Showdown is, let me see, UC Presidents and Board of Directors Forum. So they'll have a bunch of people getting together to, you get a chance to meet a lot of them. You can ask questions. And that'll be Monday, November 10th. So 2 days away at 7 p.m. Let me see, get our tickets here. Let's just take a look and we'll see where this goes and we can see it. Glenmore Christian Academy is the location. I'm not familiar, so I'll have to look it up myself. But you can buy tickets right there. All right, I'm going to skip over to my Twitter profile. So much has happened in the last little while. Well, the RCMP have definitely done it again. They have murdered, I don't call it a cull because it really was just a murder of 300 and some odd of these ostriches. That, and if you believe the story from the media and the government, you're still on the COVID bullshit train of brainwashing and moronic, complete anti-science, not thinking for yourself, complicit moron. You may as well walk around with a dunce cap on. Well, actually, you know what? Put a mask on, and that's the 2025 dunce cap. Anyway, they murdered all those birds yesterday, the day before. It won't be long before they'll be murdering you because you're a dissenter. So, oh my God, this Sydney Sweeney thing is it's really a distraction, folks. And all of the stuff about Sydney Sweeney and Momdani, the corrupt election stealing, the stealing of the election in New York City. I mean, what are the chances that 84% of the voters turned out and voted for that guy? I think it's highly unlikely. But, this is the world we're living in, this 2025. I don't necessarily believe this guy, only because he's more than likely an NDP. But this is an interesting stat. In 2020, 4% of patients who visited emergency departments left without care. Today, it's over 20%. Yes, 1 in 5 Albertans leave emergency departments without being seen by a doctor. It is not the license plates that need fixing. It is our healthcare, education, and our economy. I completely agree, but we still need to do things. It's license plates is just a nice to have. It's not obviously doing anything structurally. We need to cut back our government too. We need to reduce government spending. But this is quite jarring of a stat, don't you think? The architect, I like that guy, what did he say? So now the CFIA are receiving death threats. Boo fucking who. These power-tripping psychopaths will not hesitate to destroy your life because they can. Now they are playing the victim. The time to take our lives back is now, or our children will never forgive us. That was well said, architect, and I think you're right on the money. There's so much going on here by weekend's end. Breaking thanks to Citizen Journalists and Independence Media. Let me just see what he has to say here. This is Rob Dew.
This J6 bomber information is just going off the hook, and it starts off with a post from Steve Baker saying, update on J6 pipe bomb report. After an abundance of counsel from trusted parties within and outside the government, we've hit the pause button so those interested parties can have some more time to look at J6 bomber evidence. There are things that they need to do internally. Yeah, okay. We haven't had enough time.
They haven't had enough time already.
21? Okay, so we need more time. We need more time.
Yeah.
This is a real story. When it breaks, it's going to be a huge story. There are a lot of moving parts, and we need to give them time to do what they need to do.
No, we don't.
You guys can get an overhead shot of this. Tensions are running high. There have been a lot of sleepless nights the last 2 weeks, but this is a game changer, and we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that right now. I was up at 3:30 preparing the video clips for the release on Glenn Beck's program. Contrary to what so many ex-complainers will say, this wasn't a hype stunt for views and clicks. And no, the government didn't silence us. They just told us to stop talking about it, but they didn't silence us. Glenn and I were both pretty amped up to put it all out this morning. We were both very disappointed with the decision to postpone was made. The government's investigation into the J6 pipe bombs was going nowhere just 2 weeks ago. Yeah, exactly. Today, I can tell you all that has changed, and a bunch of people got really spun up yesterday. Hang tight. It's all coming. That's Steve Baker.
Yeah,
was
like
making
Nancy
the rounds
Pelosi's
even on Brianna Morella's show and talking about this gate evidence that actually Kyle Serafim and Alex Jones were just talking about. So if you don't know, people walk a certain way. And one of the things that happened during the pandemic when everybody was wearing masks, it was confusing the facial recognition. So as always, the globalists have a backup plan, and that is to analyze people's walking styles. So when they can analyze and put your walking style into the computer, well, then it's harder to hide from the cameras and the all-seeing eyes, unless I guess you do the silly walk from, or if you walk like you're trying to escape the sandworms in Dune. There's different ways you could walk, I guess. But the gait analysis came up with a 94% accuracy that this person matched another person who's a Capitol Police officer, or was a Capitol Police officer. I hear they're working in another agency at this point. But I'm not going to release that, but that's what I hear. But what's interesting is when all this started breaking, I got sent, guys, go ahead and pop up. You let this run a little bit, but then pop up that picture I sent you. There you can see the gait analysis, and they're wearing those weird shoes, those high top. I thought they were ice skates, honestly. I'm like, why is this person walking around on ice skates? But I got sent an emoji yesterday evening. And I cut the name off the emoji because I'm not going to put anybody's name out there, but this is like a cartoon picture. So do you guys have that? I texted it to you. Okay. Yeah, as soon as you bring it in, just pop it up, and then we'll pop up the other one next to it to show the comparison. But we have all this J6 bomber footage. When the FBI first put it out, it was like this low resolution, 1 frame per second, just dog crap potato video. And then, to throw us a bone, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are like, well, maybe we should show them a little bit. Oh, we have this great HD footage, so maybe we should show that. So then they put that out, and people were looking at it and going, okay, who could this be? It's got to be a Fed because they haven't arrested anybody. There's also footage of this person on a phone talking to somebody. Remember, the Feds were tracking everyone through their cell phones and credit cards to go and arrest them after J6, but magically this person never got arrested. You know why that is? Well, we all know. It's called inside job. It's called false flag. And it was to create the pretext. That's how big this plan was on J6, to create a terror designation so they could use more assets and have more penalties against people that, walked in through the velvet ropes. So they were turning that into that. Do you guys have that yet? If not, I'll just pull it up on my phone. It's a little too long. See if you can get both the images. All right. So here's Here's the one right here. And what I noticed first is, look, there's a gray hoodie. The person's wearing a gray hoodie. And this is, I guess, you know, some people say this is Snapchat. I'm not sure what, I don't use Snapchat, but it's an avatar. It's something that I would have created on a Nintendo Wii back in the day. But there's an avatar of this person that they say is related to the pipe bomber. And here's a comparison here of the pipe bomber with the gray hoodie on with this avatar. So you can see interesting resemblance. And we all know people love to brag about their crimes. We had the guy who shot Jamie White in the neck, allegedly. We don't know if he's the exact trigger man, but one of the 4 that were there when the shot was fired rapped about it, made a rap song about it. So criminals love to brag about their crimes. So Brianna Murillo put out, is the federal government attempting to stop a journalist from reporting the J6 pipe bomber? That was in relation to the Steve Baker tweet. And so I put out, we know the feds have never threatened anyone about releasing a story or info, right? Oh, unless you count Snowden, Assange, Binney, that's William Binney, or Kyle Serafim, or countless others that stood up to the blob. And then there's this giant emoji floating around of some woman who does not look like MTG. Remember the View was saying that's MTG's the pipe bomber. Everybody was saying, it looks like MTG. It's a short woman. Sorry, dimtards, but she's wearing but this emoji's got the similar hoodie as the J6 pipe bomber. Can't tell if she's wearing ice skates though. I just was making a joke about the shoes on her feet.
Well, there you have it. So that's just some tasty information, and looks like it's maybe going to explode just to make that big part of that bomb. Anyway, as usual, I'm really grateful to be here, to be able to share this information with you. I will have, I think it's November 12th. I have another exciting interview coming up with Dan Bermawi, the Muslim who converted to Christianity and is now living in the United States somewhere, and talking about it with his book, Islam, Israel, and the West. So I'm going to be interviewing with him on the 12th. And in the meantime, we have the Cowtown Showdown on the 10th. And I look forward to talking to you guys all in the next couple of nights. God bless you all. Thank you very much for being here and sharing your time with me. Make sure to share this out and just share it to one person. If I ask you to do one thing, can you please share this to one person tonight? Share it to one person, share this video, share another video, share it to one person that isn't watching me already. And let's share this information, get it out. Let's wake some more people up, because that's what we need. We're going to create a great country here in Alberta, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your patriotism and your love of your country, your community, and your world for generations to come. Thanks for being here with me. God bless you all. Let's stay sane together. Keep your head on a swivel. And this is Bruce, and I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.